At least my, okay, I have 7 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Let's stand and start with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Teresa, please take the roll.
Okay, Mayor Jones.
Here.
Carlson.
Yes.
Bowen.
Here.
Project.
Here.
Schilling.
Here.
And Mattson and Keel are absent with notice.
All right, do we have any additions, changes, or action on the agenda for tonight's meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda set forth.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Carlson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Horacek?
Yes.
Schilling? How
Yes.
about the minutes from the 3/3/26 meeting?
Make a motion
Go ahead.
to approve the minutes from the previous meeting of March 3rd.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Schilling?
Yes.
Horacek?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
All right, the bills are in the packet. Any discussion or action on the bills as presented?
Just a question on the water, when we buy the bulk water, is that monthly or bi-monthly that we buy water? I should know this by now.
Monthly, yeah,
Okay.
from rural water, yep. We get a big monthly bill.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve bills as submitted for payment.
Right?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Carlson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Horacek?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
All right, public comment. I think everybody else?
I've got one public comment.
Okay.
When Craig gets back, and I would love to see those pickleball, because I think last year we had to wait for the ground to thaw out before we got the nets in at the
Yes.
pickleball courts. Yeah, because I know we got some nice weather, but
Yeah, because the stakes actually go into
Go
the
get to go
ground.
in.
Yep, yep.
I'm sure he's on it, but I know I'm gonna have people calling me once it gets nice out.
Say, as soon as the ground
Yeah.
thaws out, we can get it in.
Okay.
So I'll make note though,
Yep.
that Craig would watch it.
All right, anything else? All right, applications, agreements, hearings, resolutions, ordinances. First up tonight, special event permit for Hartford downtown, or is it downtown Hartford?
Downtown Hartford.
Downtown.
You guys didn't change, did you?
No, DHR.
So do we have to start keeping track again, Teresa? That's
Yeah,
what
I think so.
one. Okay, there we go, okay. Downtown Market.
Correct. Valley Tuition. Thank you, and good evening, everyone. So, the application is similar to years in the past. Few changes on it that I'll point out, but, we are requesting for street closure once again that goes, should be 2nd Street here, all the way to South Bar. I'm not sure if I made that mistake. So 2nd Street to the South Bar, so that is one edit on there. And then one edit that we have, or a difference from years past, is we're actually asking to close First Street that goes from the alley east of the brewery all the way to the alley west of Main. Where typically we stop right at Main, we're actually wanting to extend it a little bit further. And I can get into some details about why that is. The closure time will be from 3 to 9 p.m. Actual event runs from 5 until 8 p.m. So that gives us time to set up and then tear down and clean up as we typically do. The request is for use of alcohol within that closure area, street, sidewalks, nowhere beyond that. And then we also had a request to utilize a chalk paint. I'm not sure if you saw where we kind of did the murals that were for the kids to use sidewalk chalk.
Yep.
We can power wash it off, so it's not permanent, and so we thought, what if we used that same kind of temporary paint, and then our thought is if we could mark 12 feet along the sidewalk, that way our vendors have a very strict perimeter of where they need to set up, so that we are able to be a little bit more efficient with our space. That way because I'm not sure if any of you were able to attend last year, but we pretty much are filling up the entire space.
Right.
And so we want that opportunity to be able to make sure that we're being efficient and we can fit as many as we can within those parameters. So that's where the markings come in. A little bit of a difference of how we're going to lay it out this year is the committee talked about having our food trucks down at this end, because we did have a little bit of a conversation with some of our vendors saying that sometimes people don't come all the way to the end. So we thought if we put our food trucks at this end and then fill our vendors all the way down, that we can fill that space. The reason why we're wanting to expand it also down first is so that we have space for kids' activities primarily, and also more vendors, because we're getting a lot of requests for vendors, which is really good. And we have actually turned some away because they, there's like, you know, like we don't necessarily want to have 5 bread bakers if we can't support that amount, but we continue to get more and more new vendors, plus we have 100+ vendors that have come previously. So we want to be able to accommodate if we're able to fill the street fully, and then also start to expand First Street wise. So that's why we're asking for that extension along First. Again, we are requesting that we're able to do the chalk murals on the sidewalks and also be able to paint the plow in September. Kids loved that event. I think it's really fun for them to get to see that plow come through, whether it's what's a hometown Christmas parade,
Yep.
you know, they get
Yep.
to see that. So a new request this year is that we're asking for assistance from the city to help us put up portable toilets. I'm choosing the Veterans Park area because that's a public space. We did request that maybe it could be put on one of those empty lots downtown, but the owner of those lots declined that request. They said we can utilize that for parking, but no vendors, no porta potties, nothing extra. And so the idea is that there's basically one business that's downtown that opens up their doors free to everybody that comes through, that's a lot of usage of the 4 toilets that are in the brewery space. And also full transparency, that business is now listed for sale, and so we as the committee don't know when a new ownership comes in, if they're going to be accepting of. So this is just a good precedence to maybe start having a public that restroom
Right.
available.
Yeah.
If you don't agree that Veterans Park is the right location, then we are open to any suggestions of where you think that should go. The other request that is out of our norm, typically we don't ask the city for any funding. We're completely self-funded up until this point. We're requesting for around $5,000 that we can utilize towards the marketing event. And I think that I kind of listed out in there. I don't have it right here in front of me, but I did include, we already got quotes for what we would utilize all of that marketing budget towards. And we just really think that this is a great opportunity our vendors are already doing a lot of marketing for us. They're inviting other vendors to come, so we really want to get the word out to the broader community to be able to come here, experience the farmers market, spend money in Hartford, enjoy some time downtown building community. And we feel that now's the time to really start putting more focus on the marketing side, whereas before it was been, we printed flyers, Facebook posts. So this really helps us to kind of open that door more. Along with that, I think I covered pretty much everything in there. If you guys have questions, it's again, sorry, the dates are again the last Thursday of the month from May through September. And so that just seemed to be a good day to stick with, and vendors appreciate that day of the week, and it works for our committee, so we're continuing with that as well.
Twice a month, still too much?
At this point, I would say for the committee, probably. For our vendors, I think that if we were to do it twice a month, then our vendors would split. We would have some that come one day and some that would come the other. I'm not entirely, some might come both, for
Right.
sure, but I don't think that they all would.
Yep.
And so kind of just depends on, do we want to keep it like a really big event, or do we want to, disperse it a little bit?
Yep. Just asking, because I
Yeah.
always ask.
Absolutely.
You guys need more volunteers, right?
We never turn volunteers away, Sean.
Don't hardly
Yeah,
put
you
any
don't do
time.
anything
I put
else.
nothing in, none. Sean.
Sean, can I borrow your charger?
Absolutely.
So there's really no changes in
Actual
the alcohol
charge, but-
policy, and I don't think,
Thank you.
is there?
No changes to that, no. We're not, we don't want to sell the alcohol. We're just asking that at least if they go to any of the businesses that do sell it, that they're allowed to bring the open container out into
Right.
the space.
Have there been any issues with complaints of traffic or the businesses or anything so far, or maybe
In
like all the
term-
people? I mean, for the blocking out the street.
Yes, there absolutely has, and I think that, the main, I think complaint is just that we are blocking off traffic for, during the business day.
Sure.
I would,
But are we extending towards that business or away from it, or?
it's a downtown
It's a
business, so
downtown.
it's cutting off, all
Underneath.
in front.
Yep. And I typically don't have any, I've got 20 people that come to my office, so I'm looking at, I've got the map pulled up.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, where are my 20 cars going, right?
Absolutely, and
And I'm okay with having my guys, but they're gonna be parked, I look at North Oaks, then they're gonna be filling up residential spaces, you know what I mean?
residential and
Yep.
also the open lot, where Homestead Hills is.
Would they let
That's
us-
completely open, yeah.
That is open to parking?
Yes, we asked for permission for parking.
And they've got both, they got the one on the south side, so I can tell my guys, so can I show you, I'm just, because like that, they own that right
Yep.
there, so my guys can park there if they need to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
that's open, the only thing that we need to do is just sign, I
The-
can't remember what it's called.
Your insurance,
Essentially, yeah.
liability thing, yeah. Perfect.
Essentially, and so then, and I completely respect that there are businesses that are
Yeah.
operating downtown. The only, I think, counter that I have is that it's literally 5 days out
Yeah.
of 365. And, if you counter the benefit that it is for the community versus the 2 hours a day that is an inconvenience.
They can get over it.
I'm partial, for sure, of my leanings, but I think it's worth the sacrifice of having to shift.
And you're a business owner downtown as well, but it affects your
Oh,
parking.
absolutely, yeah, and,
Kelly, I wonder about the porta potty across the street, and having kids crossing the street over to Veterans Park. When I read this yesterday, I thought, that was the first thing that I thought, it'd be nice if we could come up with another place to put that so kids didn't have to, because you know how that goes.
if they're on their own, absolutely. They're
I-
probably not looking to cross the street. Several of them are going to be passing it on their way to get to the
Yeah.
market. You look at, like, most people are
Right.
crossing the street to get here, but,
That was my only thought.
and I had that same concern.
Yeah.
I just wasn't really sure where else is
Right.
an accommodating
Right.
location. Everything else is pretty much,
What
privately
about
owned.
between I wonder if there's,
Or the
I'm just,
library or something?
yeah, I was thinking between the library and the city hall. I don't know what that space looks like, I'm looking on the map, but,
I don't know if you get one in there with the bike racks
yeah,
in
because
there
there is a
and
bike,
stuff.
yeah, there's something
Yeah.
there,
I don't
yeah.
know if you.
They'd have to come in from the back,
There,
Then
yeah.
if
Yeah.
it's soft.
Put them just in the back parking lot, or is that too far away, I suppose?
Probably hard
In
for
the
people to
back?
find.
To the alley. I don't know if anybody would know it's there and
Right.
would utilize it.
I'd love to put one in my courtyard, but I will not put
No
a bathroom
pun
back there.
intended.
I would, yeah, no pun intended.
You know, we can check with Craig too, maybe they could slip it into in between the library and the city hall.
I just wonder what that space
Move the
looks
bike
like.
Rack just temporarily or something, I don't know.
And are you trying to get a bathroom placement just on more on the north side, or you're just trying to add an
Just
extra?
in general to
Yeah,
have
someplace.
another
What about
place.
between the brewery and payroll wall? Isn't there a pretty good space there? Like on the north side of the brewery?
There is, I mean, there's a little bit of a sidewalk that goes between
Yeah.
the two. I do know that some of our vendors utilize that to,
Oh, okay,
you know, park and then come through, but
gotcha.
I
I
mean,
almost-
maybe, I believe that particular space it would be Paula's property.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could ask her, but
I mean, you have, on the other side of City Hall, but that's owned by, Michelle Thompson.
Right.
And
There's a
then
big
right
bush
across
there.
the street,
Yep.
Right, but
Put
there's
Also
room, yeah.
Place,
Yeah.
that's owned by Aaron Juck now, so I mean,
Yeah.
you'd have to contact those private properties, but they may be spots, green spots where.
And if you're
we can
moving the
get one
food
in.
trucks to this end, I almost wonder if we would be better off putting it right dead center at the street, just down from South Park, put it right dead in the center of the street.
In the street, they don't pick them up right away, I'll
right,
tell you that much.
that would be.
Well, then that gives something, people can slalom the next morning.
Because if we want them diverting around the board.
Yeehaw.
I just know from like Jamboree days and whatnot, they don't come out
I know.
usually right away to get them.
Just a thought. I think we can work with that. We'll figure out a place for it. The $5,000, Teresa put in her report to us that, we know you guys got some money in the account because we see that. Did you consider using money out of that fund, or you got plans for that fund, or?
So considering that it was kind of an afterthought, our committee starts meeting in February, which is long after your, July budget meeting. And
Yep.
so when we discussed it, I don't think that, I'm not personally opposed to it coming out of the DHI budget because it's something that goes towards an event that, we coordinate and we put on.
Right.
I think that some of the funds that were spoken for, like in that account that haven't been used yet, like we're dependent on, putting more lights down the street.
Right.
But it doesn't make sense until sidewalks are in.
Correct, right.
Working on the
Right, right.
bridge, that didn't make sense because the trail didn't actually extend. So like some of the reasons why we requested some of those funds can't come to fruition because of,
Right.
development issues. So I don't see why it couldn't. I
Right.
think that, depending on how this marketing campaign goes and the success of it, it will probably be a budgeted item this coming year, so.
I'm not saying we don't pay for marketing, because we give money to Jamboree, we give money to downtown or hometown Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we don't do that.
Yeah, just like Jamboree and
I mean,
Hometown
really.
Christmas come with
And
the
you guys
budget
haven't-
request, they figured that in, so
Right.
next year you just figure it in as a budget request.
Yeah, and you guys haven't came and asked for any money.
No,
You know.
but like I said, if we can do this year, going forward, just
Right.
be a budget request from DHI
Yeah,
then.
and maybe that would be, if that's
Absolutely.
acceptable to you guys, maybe we'd look, since it's kind of an after the fact, but then by
Yeah.
all means, when you guys come to budget time, if you wanna.
Yeah, I did reach out to Caitlin just because I couldn't remember what some of the quotes were for some of the projects that I do know that we have coming up. But I think that we have enough in that account.
To cover
that it's
for-
not going to
Yeah.
impede any
Yeah.
of those particular projects that we do
Yeah.
have planned.
Yeah,
Yeah, because one of our the big ones is replacing all the hanging baskets this year.
yeah.
'Cause those are all shot and, yeah.
But I would say, going forward, I'd say that there would probably be no issues, including that on a budget request.
Sure.
But this year, maybe it'd be better if we can swing it that way.
Yeah.
Looked at your list, yeah, it looks like you're not spending crazy money, it looks like it's very good spent advertising dollars. All right, Any questions from the council? Any action we want to take to get this approved? And
So we are,
I can make a motion to approve the special event permit for the Hartford, well, downtown Hartford Incorporated Downtown Market, as is.
Second.
I got a question on that, so thank you for doing that. Is this motion approving everything within the request summary?
I
Is
assume,
that-
yes, yeah, because that's as presented, so what's in the request summary, because that
Right.
kind of covers the whole event,
Okay.
and then we utilize the funds out of what they have here.
out of their account, not
Yes.
out of, yeah.
Well, so that's where, they were.
Well, if you look at their
the city-
application, we're approving their application. as
We're
it's presented.
approving their application, but are they requesting to use any money out of their account is where I'm going at?
That's-
Is that gonna be another process or another
I think
motion?
just in the motion, say, added funds.
That's where I'm
be taken
going,
out of
yeah, that's
the
where I'm going at,
downtown.
because
I think
right,
just amend the motion to include that the funding requests come out of the funds
Downtown
held by
Hartford
the
fund.
city.
DHI.
Yep, down to the DHI account with the city.
so we should let that.
Can you amend that, Keith?
Yep.
I'd like to amend the previous motion to include the payment from Downtown Hartford, Inc., their funds, not the city funds.
Correct.
Second.
Still a second. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Up.
Can I just ask for
Yeah,
clarification?
yeah.
Just because, like, it's our habit to make payment out of, like, our, basically through our DHI account from our own
Yeah.
funds, for all of these expenses.
Yeah.
Would we still do that and then turn in, for a reimbursement, or how does that work?
Well, you're requesting $5,000, so I think
We just,
turn over $5,000
yeah,
to you.
I'll just cut you a
Yeah.
check, 5,000 out of that account.
And the cost of the
That makes,
body.
that's easier.
Sure. It is much easier.
And then just have you guys pay it, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Pay the expenses.
Okay? That good?
Yep.
Anything else? Carlson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Horacek?
Yes.
Shelley?
Yes.
All right? Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
One more question before I go.
Oh, I don't know.
Just because there's a concern about maybe perhaps placement of where the porta
Yeah.
potty would go, am I taking an action item then to contact some of these businesses to find out if placement can go on their property? Or is that something that the city will take care of first?
I think, Teresa, you can talk with Craig and you guys kind of take a gander of, I'll throw that one at city staff for right now.
Okay,
And
just
we'll-
let me know
yeah, well,
if
yeah.
I should.
We'll know before we get to May. Let's say that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your guys' work.
Maybe we'll see if we can get crossing guards.
Hey, you could even get
Nice
like
one.
one of those reflective vests.
You're really looking
Hey,
for a volunteer
you know what?
spot.
I got one. I have one. Because when you're a guy like me, you gotta wear that stuff.
Throw in a free beer, a lot of volunteers.
There's people aiming at me. No, I won't say that. All right, second up, Resolution 2026-9, South Dakota Game Fish and Park Recreational Trail Program Application. This is for a proposed bike trail from West 12th Street to Swenson Park, up on the east side of the Hartford Area Development Foundation, or the Oaks Industrial Park, as we like to call it. North Oaks Industrial Park. And this is the grant we can apply for, and the application due, and really the resolution basically says that I can sign the grant.
Yep. Yeah, as discussed at our last meeting, we are applying for this grant. There are several things you need to include in it. One of them is basically this resolution that just allows the mayor to sign the paperwork, the application, and states that if we get awarded, we will cover our 20%, because it's an 80-20 grant, that we're aware of that. So just kind of lays that out. This signed resolution will need to go in with our application in April, so that's the purpose of it.
Okay, action from the council.
If we got this grant, when would the construction on that start? Would that be a 2026 project or 2027?
2027,
Okay, so
more
we'd have the
likely, because we
opportunity to
won't
budget
hear
for
on
it.
this grant probably till summer or maybe even
Okay,
early
right.
fall.
We'd be able
And
to-
by the time you
Good.
design it and survey design it, it's gonna be a 2027 project. What do you
Michael,
think?
come on, Michael.
Something like this, you don't want to bid too late in the year. You're just gonna get a bunch of, call it junk bids at inflated prices. It's
Sure.
at that point better to hold off.
We know how you guys are dragging your feet on our bikes trails.
Is there
I
a
will
good
s-
probability that we'll get the grant?
They are really good. I think we'll have a good application, especially, we're trying to get a safe way to get kids
Right.
up to that sports complex. And, we have hundreds of kids that use it. I got numbers that I can submit with the grant.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, you don't want them riding their bikes along Western, so I mean, I think we have a good chance. I mean, you never know.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Oh,
Wow.
yes.
Exactly.
There we go.
And I will say that GF&P
Yeah,
is a
flat.
lot easier to work with than the state, so this is a good grant to get it.
I'll
And
make a
really,
motion to approve resolution 2026-9.
Second.
any discussion?
Hey, I love these grants, these
I do
20% that we pay, 80% somebody else, so,
Yeah.
No, I think you're right, a good path to that sports complex is,
Right.
wow, it's right into my ward, so I'm all for this.
Great.
Of course you are. Yeah. All right, no other discussion, we'll vote. Schilling.
Yes.
Horacek.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes,
All right, the next one up is also a grant or agreement between the city to apply for a grant for an AED here in City Hall. Ours is about 10 years old. United Way, Sioux Empire United Way has a great grant program. This is a 50/50 deal, if I'm not mistaken.
And I did apply, or you can go right online and I heard
Yeah.
back in.
Oh, yeah, we
2
already,
days, so
I think we've already received it.
We got it if
so
we
it's
want
just-
it.
this is
Like I said, it's a
kind of a,
50/50. I did talk with Linda Hartman, because Craig had said, the fire department may know some grant. She said this is probably the best one out there
Right.
too for AEDs. Comes right through Sioux Empire United Way. We used the same grant when we got the one up at the sports complex, and very easy to work with too. Like I said, you hear about it right away. They're very accommodating, get it out to you, and yeah. I think it's,
Is it 10 years old or 20 years old? Because that's 20 years, so the one we have here is 20 years old?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. so-
Holy smokes.
battery's still working on it though. We check it every month.
Wow.
And we order new pads when they expire, but it's at its
Yeah,
life
Karen has to,
expectancy. And
Karen is the guinea pig.
Do they shock you, Karen? Is that how they test that?
We're testing it, it's testing time, Karen.
no, this is another great thing, because, not many people keep up with their CPR, so
Yeah.
this is,
Yeah, and as you know, all the staff here, we're CPR and AED certified. We go to get it every 2 years. So we're already met all the qualifications for the grant, so.
Awesome. All right,
I'll
so,
make
go ahead, Darrell.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement between the City of Hartford and Sioux Empire United Way for the AED grant.
second,
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Carlson.
yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Horacek.
Yes.
Schilling.
Yes.
Oh, and I wanted to say, and we moved on quick, also thanks to HADF, because didn't they give us the land for that bike path?
So yeah, every developer
Yeah.
has to donate either land or
I
funds.
got- I
Yeah,
was gonna-
so
I was gonna
that
say
was
that,
part of
but
their development and.
I didn't get
yeah.
it said before we moved on, so.
Yep, it was, that's
Appreciate the
great.
fact that they worked with us.
Teresa,
Yep.
on the AEDs, you might want to check with the heart hospital. They gave us $400 if we gave them our old one.
Oh, for
So
the
we
old
got this
one?
grant as well, and then we got an additional
All right.
$400 from them.
Oh, so,
Nice.
Sanford or?
It's through Avera Heart Hospital, yeah,
Oh, the
they're
heart-
on their website,
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't know that, so yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, thank you.
We got ours on about $276. I
So-
like the 100-0 grant.
That's pretty good.
So Dr. Knight's here helping us get money. Come on,
They all need it.
man. All right, thank you.
He can get it.
All right, we're gonna move down to visitors. The visitor we have listed tonight, I told her I'd be nice to her. Deb Jones is here to discuss the upcoming community garden at Christ Lutheran Church.
So my name is Deb Jones, and Arden just asked me to come more. This is more about sharing what I'm doing, but I do have one request. It's not financial. I'm not asking for money. So, but I do have one request. About last summer, and by the way, there's a lot of comfort zone things for me the last 2 years, and this is one of them. But last summer, I started thinking about a community garden, and we have land at our church. So I asked our council if it was okay if I could use it. So we have dug it up. It is, I'm only sitting on, but 30 by 70 for lots that are 10 by 12. We're hoping 16 lots. We had it dug up, we've had it tilled, we have to try and till it one more time. But that's my hope, is that to fill it up with 16, and want to make it expandable, so if it goes over really well, we can make it larger. My whole thing was that I wanted to offer something for my whole project, where I'm at is congregational care and community care, and so it's kind of both. I'm offering it to our congregation first. I just put it in our newsletter. I wanted to give them first serve because it's on our land. But then what's still available, which I'm sure there will be, I want to offer to the community that they can have. I have written up a contract, and it's $25 for each lot. I have Judah Wibben is going to build a fence as an Eagle Scout project. So I have done a couple grants. I did the Roundup through Sioux Valley Electric, and I did the Hartford area one last week. So I'm hoping that between the two, I get money to pay for more for the fence than anything, because I'm trying to keep it net zero, no cost to the church. I thought I was going to have to dig in water pipe, but we found another solution, and Arden can explain that a little bit, because he worked on that more than I did. But I'm hoping that if we get the grants, that'll cover more nominal cost than the digging the whole pipe system.
The pit, digging in the pit.
So we're hoping to do that, and it'll have a monitor. We're hoping to do a monitor so that we can shut the water off in the winter when we're not using it, and our church will pay for it, and then we just pay them. I'm hoping that my $25 per lot will help to pay that. One of my things, one of my requirements on the contract, the very first thing is that actually I already, I think, kind of said it, but I really liked it, is that I want it to be no, I didn't put it on there first. To use a garden, it's first fruits. You have to offer first fruits to someone in need, either someone you know that's in need, to the food shelf, the daycare, whatever, but I want that's the Christian part of it, that I want it to be first fruits. What am I forgetting, Arden?
Then you want to, well...
The part that I want, the request
Yeah.
I have, is that I have a contract. Like I said, I put it on our newsletter, so it's already out to my congregation. I want them to have a couple weeks and announce it. But I'm wondering if it's possible to put it in the newsletter. Is that something I can do, so I can get the word out to the most people? And I don't know, is it possible to put it on the screen? I don't know. So that's my request, if it's possible to do that.
Yeah, we can put a little message on the marquee, and we'll just direct them to a spot on our website to actually get the contract.
Yeah.
But,
And I
yeah,
can
we
give
put a
I
little
can give you a
message on
copy of
it.
it.
And I didn't know how that worked on our newsletter. Can we do stuff like that? Is that a
Yeah, we
community
might just
enough?
want to direct them to a link in our newsletters so they can get,
What-
this would be a lot to put in.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, we just,
What Kirsten did was I did a little blurb for the church,
yeah, just
and I could probably do the same thing.
Yeah, I was saying, we just
And then
put a
she
blurb,
just
a
had
little
that,
direct-
which they could hit the thing.
Click
at the
here.
top.
Yep, we'll just put a link, and then,
Yep.
yeah, we'll have it where they can
Okay,
just
yep.
link it to it, and they can print this out, so.
Is this on the land to the west of the playground area?
Yes.
And
Yes.
how many plots are you having?
Mine is 16 right now.
Okay.
The only thing I haven't quite figured out is like a walking path or a blocking off each lot. That's the one thing I had it rolling in my head, but I haven't figured it out yet.
I got a rookie question right here.
Yeah.
Is it, how about the separation of church and state? I don't think the city should be involved in, well, I mean, maybe in any of the church matters. I don't know.
Right.
Community garden, then
Right.
we're all good, but I don't know if there's a
Yeah.
problem with that.
I don't think that there is a problem with that. I mean, you know, we.
It's not like,
You know, we're promoting local events, the Jamboree Day, you got churches that are involved in that, I mean, you know,
Like I
we're
say,
not,
I
we're not
don't-
saying as a city, you know, we're not enforcing, we're not enforcing, it's probably, I don't think that there's an issue marketing something that's put on by a church.
We were just talking about that. I think it's more of a community garden versus
Right.
anything, you
Right.
know,
It's more
related with the church.
community, I'm
It's
just
more,
offering it
yes.
there
I
because
mean,
that's
where they got the
where I
land,
have
so
the
yeah.
land, and I asked.
So, that's the way I.
It'd be like a church putting on a potluck, right? I mean, it's kind of the
Yeah,
same
does that
concept,
go
the
up?
church is
Does that
putting
go
on a
up
potluck,
sometimes?
and, what's that?
Does that go up on the screen?
Well, I don't, no one's ever requested to put up on the screen, but I would have no issue with that, you know?
So this would be like listing of an event. that
Right.
isn't-
That's-
Okay, I
that's
think
right,
we can
yeah.
just promote more of a, yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
good question, though.
community event, yes,
Yep.
community garden, yeah, so it's not promoting Christ Lutheran or a different, any kind of church, it's just a community event, yeah.
And I know Michelle and a group, you guys made a run at this a couple of years ago, and really the thing we couldn't figure out is a good place.
I know,
To
we,
put it.
like, well, it was Callie's vision to have one downtown,
Right.
like in amongst
Right.
somewhere, and, you know, it's just to find the land for
Location
that
and water.
Food
vision.
and water, yeah.
Yeah.
all those
So
things, so.
we have,
That's what, if you want a picture of that, that's what I.
we have
You'd have to change it
a
to
water
because
line
that's
that
just
runs from the
numbers.
church out to our playground, and there's a irrigation box
That
there.
we could put in there.
And I talked with Tony,
Can you maybe take a picture?
and his irrigation guy, we think we could knife in over in the garden, put in a spigot there. It'll be able to be blowed out in the winter. Travis and I had Jesse from the city and Craig come down and take a look at the plumbing in the church just to see how, everything I was thinking could be done, and I think we can make it work, so.
Yeah, because in reality, like, when, like Callie's vision too, where it wasn't just downtown, like, it would be nice to have community gardens in,
Scattered.
yeah, throughout, you know, for different
Right.
areas of Hartford. But it's really difficult to find one land and then two, the water to it.
The only other thing I will add, when Judah Wibben came to us, or we started talking about the Eagle Scout project, we're gonna have him probably permanent the poles in on one side and leave them not permanent on the other, so it'll be more expandable. There is so much room there. When we first went out, I mean, we could have 100, we could have literally have 100 spots up
We have
there.
room to grow the cells.
Yeah,
Did
and,
you say what your plot sizes were?
yeah, 12,
I might have, I might not have. 10 by 12 is what I have
Oh.
right now.
So-
Mhm.
I don't think I put it in.
I think, first and foremost, I think this is a phenomenal project, and I love the values behind that too. I think, because it's really not a community garden, I mean, it kind of is, but it's not. Because when I think of
Yeah.
community, I mean, I don't know how community gardens operate, but it's, you know, it's on private property, right, that's owned by the church, and the church is opening up, hey, we have a select amount of spots, because,
yeah.
you know, I don't know how many members of your church are gonna want a spot, maybe only
Yeah, I
two or
don't know,
three.
Maybe none.
You know, so I just wonder in the marketing of it, the messaging, because when I think of, and I'm sure in these community gardens, they all, like, are those usually city ran? Like, I don't, you know, I don't know
Kind
enough.
of very, I mean, we
Yeah.
had one a few
Yeah.
years ago.
So the ones in Sioux Falls typically are the mini ha-ha master gardeners are the
Yeah.
ones that kind of coordinate that. Because I know there's one on the UNC campus.
Okay,
And that it's the mini, like you have to, there's an application process and, you know, you
Right.
get.
I
but
think we have their
typically-
contract, I
Yeah,
think.
typically, like,
Yeah.
there is already water available and
Yeah.
there's a lot of parameters around it, but I think that it's maybe a combination of the parks program and the mini ha-ha master gardener.
but it's so in that function, it's still a community garden,
Yeah.
and this is operating essentially the same way, just its own, you know, it's private property, you take care of
So
it.
there was one a few years ago that Orland Punts, they don't live here anymore, but lived on Main Street. They had an empty lot, and they had allowed people to come in and have plots
Oh,
for
yeah,
a
that's
community
cool. I
garden, and that was on private
I love
property,
it,
so
I think it's great.
Yep.
yeah.
I'll keep an eye on the
Always
rabbits
work
for you,
it.
because I live up in that neighborhood.
Well, that's why we decided on the fence right away, because we figured if we don't put a
Yeah.
fence around it, it'll be,
The contract idea I took from another, it's from another church in Sioux Falls,
Yeah.
and I think they call it, I think that one's a community garden
Yeah.
as well.
Perfect.
Denny Fondred actually, he's a retired pastor.
Yep.
he was the one who originally wanted to do this, and that's so kind of helping me a little bit. He's an older gentleman, so he doesn't quite have the energy, so it's on me.
I think it's a great
So
idea.
you're gonna keep staying in charge of it, and you're gonna be the head.
For a while.
For now,
Yeah.
until I get old and don't have any energy. Oh, wait, I am old.
Not yet, you got about 3 weeks.
So what's the name of the, are we sort of calling it a community garden?
I think we're calling it, aren't we calling it a community garden?
Well,
Community garden at
I
Christ
can't
Lutheran
change
is
it. I have
kinda,
Christ Lutheran Community Garden,
but maybe we'll call it community garden at
I
Christ
have-
Lutheran, maybe,
yeah,
something to that
Something like
effect.
that.
so I may need to
Just,
change
I
it.
Yeah.
think the wording, if it was
Yeah.
maybe a little
Yeah,
bit different.
yeah, community garden at Christ Lutheran,
Oh,
you know.
yeah, I can do that.
Kind of like, what is that, Waterford at,
All Saints.
yeah, there
Probably
you
is because I
go.
have to
Kinda
use
like
the church for my grants. So
that. You know a lot about that, kid.
I'm checking them out.
I have to use the church for the grants, but yeah. I
Do we
can,
need to vote on her being able to allow to do that, or is
I
that,
gave her a copy, but I'll have to change the
I
title
say,
of
we
it.
just changed the title of it.
are you okay? You good?
He's just under visitors. I think it's the consensus. We're all
Yep,
okay with
everybody good?
this and the plan. We will
I think it's phenomenal.
go forward then.
Boy, hey, you made it.
He
Yeah.
was nice to you.
All right.
Bye, Callie.
Let's move down to reports. First one up is the fire department report. I think Todd comes next month?
Next month, I'll be.
I'll say, did he already get fired?
Nope.
I don't think so, but.
I did talk to Todd this week. Him and I are gonna meet for lunch next month.
Did he put his report in there, or am I just
Yep.
not missing
It's
it? I mean,
there. He
I
already
must have
went
scrolled
by
so
it.
far down, here we are.
See you later.
Hey, did we have a fire here a couple of days ago? It
Uh,
smelled pretty smoky out there.
You know what, there's, on the south side of the interstate, off the exit, they burn a lot, depending on that wind, yeah, they burn a lot out there.
All right. Let's move down to Kyle's report, building inspector code enforcement. His stuff's in the packet.
Any questions on my report?
I don't believe I had any. Anybody got any questions for Kyle? He's been out watching the snow, I think, huh?
Looks like a good meeting you'll be going to, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, we need to
Yeah,
approve
He
that.
does have an action item.
Yep.
I'll
So
make
Kyle?
a- Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept Kyle's, Christensen's request to attend the SODAC, or SODACE spring training on May 6th to 7th, 2026.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
As I say, with anybody going, and I think this is great, first and foremost, Teresa's probably heard me say this, I always, you know, I
Always want a report.
always want some type of, not even, I don't even necessarily
Yeah.
need a report, I need something that there's, your gate, and then it's more of a challenge, like, if you're gonna go to this thing, bring
To learn.
something back that you can bring to the city. You know, that's a big thing. But other than that, I think it's great.
And if you've seen it in the report, Kyle is actually second vice president. So does that put you in line eventually to be the wheel?
So are you the vice to the vice president? Is what-
So Paul Clark is actually president right now.
Okay,
Yeah,
so he moves out and then
he
you,
and then-
everybody moves up?
So I got like 3 years for I'm president.
Okay. All right. So we had a motion and a second. I don't think we voted, did we?
No.
No. Shelley?
Yes.
Horacek?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else, Kyle?
Nope.
All right. Most exciting part of the evening, engineer report. You weren't here last meeting, neither was I, so
Wasn't very exciting.
wasn't very exciting, I don't think.
Good evening, everyone. Following up on a couple items from last weekend, last meeting, we're working on reviewing some of those stormwater management ownership practices, reviewing what adjacent cities are doing, as well as expanding that further, just so we're not staying closed-minded on the region. And we'll present those to you at a future meeting. As discussed earlier, we're working with CCOG to prepare items for that GFP grant. That is due April 10th. Worked on a little bit this afternoon. Just waiting for Craig to get back just to discuss lights and figure out what style he'd like to maintain once those are installed. As far as project updates, TAP grant, Mickelson Road, got a project schedule created for that project, have reached out to the DOT to schedule a project kickoff meeting, and we will be sure to update you once that is scheduled and get that one moving. That's all I had for ongoing projects. Happy to answer any questions.
Did we get the cabinets installed at the wastewater treatment plant?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Those were
We
installed
were
a couple months
short,
ago.
yeah.
Yep.
We were short a couple of them.
Okay.
Basically, Craig decided there's plenty out there, we don't need them, because it would have been waiting months again for them, so he just
Yep.
said, forget it. Give us a deduct and we'll.
I've got
you
one
know.
more question on the wastewater.
Yep.
I've been driving by there on the interstate, and I remember at one time, were we going to put a fence around the water, you know?
The
around-
treatment tank?
Yeah, did we have conversation about that? Was that ever?
I believe we did. I believe since it is elevated out of the ground, it is not necessarily a trip hazard. The structure itself actually acts as its own fence.
Yeah.
I believe if it was only exposed a foot, we would need a railing so no one wouldn't accidentally fall. I
Okay.
believe is where
I
we
think that's.
I was just
Yeah, I
thinking
remember
like,
too, yeah.
you know, you hope nobody falls in there or you know, it's way
Like
up,
that,
you know, it's
you've
not in
gotta
the middle of
actually
town, right?
Go up the stairs, yeah, like you
Do
said,
we-
it's elevated itself.
Is there any requirement that we have to have something on the steps to stop people, or no?
Like a gate you're referring to?
Yeah, maybe a gate or, because,
Well,
I don't know if you
the-
could.
The
I
facility is
mean-
gated.
I was gonna say, the whole facility is
It's
gated.
gated, that's it,
So
yeah.
that's
I wonder from like
like
an
our fence, like
insurance.
if people got a pool.
Yeah, I'm
You
just
have to have
thinking
a
from
fence around it,
like an
yeah.
insurance, I don't know if we need like
Yeah.
a,
Think of it as a pool, not that you want to swim in it, but
Right.
we do have fencing around the whole facility, so it
Okay.
is fenced. So
Okay.
We meet our
Right.
All the
requirements there, I
safety
guess.
law.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep.
But I do think because of the height, yeah, I do remember that,
Do you remember
because
that
it's so
conversation?
far
I guess.
out of the ground.
another
Like I
dumb
said, it's not a
question.
trip pants. It has
Do
to
we
be-
have, and this is because we're down this rabbit hole, but I just got, because I've been on those boardwalks a couple times, you know? And do we have, is there like life, like kind of at a pool, right? You have those life rafts or the rafts you can
Oh,
throw. Do
like
we have
life
anything
preserver?
like that out there? Like, okay, let's say one of our guys falls in, he doesn't know how to swim, and let's say there's a, you know, a death that happens, and all of a sudden, the insurance, you know, we get sued, and it's like, no, you guys have a life raft out here. I'm just, you know, I'm thinking of like the worst pay, but like, how easy is it to put something there, if somebody falls in, you know, this could be 10, 15, 20 years down the road, there's at least a life raft you can throw out, and that's more to cover our tail end, so we don't get sued into oblivion for a wrongful death.
The only caveat there is since those basins are aerated intermittently, that water's actually less dense, so you can't even swim up in it, so it'd have to be a pretty sizable flotation device to save them. So I believe the proper protocol for any sort of maintenance on it is you would have two people out there, one, you know, supervising. If anything went wrong, they could shut the aeration off so that they could swim up.
Interesting. It's just something to think about,
Yeah.
worst case scenario, I mean, these crazy things happen. All right, that's all my questions.
All right?
All right.
I see you have an action item on here, Michael.
Correct. Justin mentioned at the last council meeting, slurry seal bids did come in from the city of Sioux Falls. They have accepted their portion of the bid. Hartford's portion came in at $224,421.17. That is over the budgeted amount of $200,000. Discussion was at the last meeting, since there's not many capital plans upcoming this year, and to stay on top of maintenance to pull those, that
To
excess,
have
that shortfall
extra
from.
dollars, take the extra out of the budget, because if we can cut back, you know, do less streets, but if we do that, we're just then pushing those streets we didn't do this year into next year. That means we're cutting back next year. I mean, it's kind of a domino effect. So, you know, with not having major projects, having, you know, some funds in reserve, my recommendation is that we go with the bid of $224,000 and getting all the streets completed like we, you know, wanted to, that we had in our bid. The biggest thing I think is that we didn't budget so much is that when it went out for bid, basically the mobilization was a lot higher than it was in past years. They kind of divvied that out between the cities a little differently than they had before. So mobilization really went up. And then we got more dollars going into striping too as well. So those two items were higher than what we thought. But my suggestion is, like I said, since we, the bid did come in at 24,000 over budget, I'm suggesting that we do go with the 224,000.
Right?
Then we'll probably adjust the budget for next year for like.
Yeah, and then next year we can, look at knowing if
Well,
you
we'll
get
probably,
bids like this, we'll have to up the mobilization or
we would at
whatnot.
least use this as our base.
Sure.
Right.
We'd
yeah.
at least base up to this.
For frame of reference, last year mobilization was $11,700. That is pretty similar across all of the similarly sized towns, but this year it jumped up to 25,000.
25,000.
Ooh.
So
So,
that's 14,000 of it right there.
Oh,
So
okay.
prices, bid prices for the actual slurry and striping did come in, there were no surprises there.
Okay.
So,
Was Aztec the lowest qualified bidder to Sioux Falls?
Thanks. So I think I
Yeah.
see
They
that.
were
in
they
here
were the
somewhere.
overall, the lowest
I
bid,
think,
yeah.
you had in your report.
You don't need a poll, I'm just, yeah.
Yeah, there's three
They're the
bidders.
ones that have done it the last 2 years too, so I
Okay.
mean, this isn't the first time doing it, they do a pretty good job with it, so.
Yeah, I think I've seen that in here someplace that they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Action from the council.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 slurry seal bid to Aztec in the amount of $224,421.17.
Second.
He got
Either
me,
way.
he got me.
All right, any discussion?
I'll let you have that one, too.
Oh, I'm hot today.
Hearing none, we'll vote. Carlson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Project?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
All right. Anything else, Michael?
That's all I had.
Thank you. Welcome back. All right, Karen, Finance Officer Report.
Yeah, my report's in the packet. If anyone has any questions on anything in that, glad to answer them.
At our last week catch-up meeting, we talked about sales tax, and now our sales tax numbers were down. So you noticed I asked Karen to pull some numbers together, and she put them in her report here, looking back at the last 5 years. And yeah, we really spiked, and now we're really sliding. And
I don't got a good reason for that.
I
It's
don't
not like
know,
we've
yeah.
had any business shutdowns or, last year, you think some of the lagging would be with the construction, maybe some of those business, Dairy
Right.
Queen and whatnot out there had a little bit to do with it, but now that this first quarter people can get to those businesses, you wouldn't think it would keep going down, so. We are expecting one more tax payment for this quarter yet, so.
Right.
The larger one.
Yeah, and that's usually a larger one, so, I guess we'll see what that number is, but, so far, yeah, it has been trending down, and so hopefully it will turn around, promote people to shop local.
Is that dispensing place there is supposed to open in January, right?
Which, I'm sorry.
The marijuana place.
Oh, yes, and they're not quite open yet, so.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, maybe that'll
I
help.
think you told us.
It was January, I know, I've been
Right.
wondering the same thing.
All right.
Yeah, I
It's been
think the
quiet.
last I talked to them, they kind of touched base with me. I think they're still working with the state to get their state licensing, so.
Yeah, because it's been really
Yeah, they
quiet,
haven't
really
told
quiet.
me yet.
I've had a couple people ask me about that too.
I think everything's still on
That
track,
could
but.
almost be it. I don't know what kind of sales they were having, but.
Not good enough to stay open.
There you go.
All right, Karen, I see you have action.
Yes, our CD is coming up for renewal here next week, or maturity next week, so we need to decide what we want to do with that. This is the CD that is part of our customer deposit funds that we can't really touch because they're deposits on the account.
Right.
We just put part of this in a CD to make a little bit of extra money, so I reached out to both Relibank and First Interstate on current rates, and Relibank is a little bit more competitive, so our suggestion is going with the 5-month CD again and taking a little bit more out of the checking to bring it down to about $25 100,000, moving more into the CD.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the 5-month CD with Rely Bank for $92,745.56.
Second.
any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Schilling.
Yes.
Horacek.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
Karen, anything else?
Oh, that was it.
All right, Teresa, what do you got?
Well, I'll give you a little public works update if you want me to. Craig's not here. Just to let you know, the restroom by the pickleball court is pretty well finished. There's a couple of minor details, but it'll be open this spring with all the other restrooms and whatnot, so that's done. The park shelters, we're putting, the tin roof and the signs on them. We're just down to getting 2 of them to finish that up. We've got the biggest one and a couple other ones done, so they're still working on that. Neil did we have in budget to run electrical to the new shed that's out by the sports complex. We put that shed up, a year ago. We didn't have any electricity there though. And so this year's budget, we have it in there to put electricity in it. Neil went out and got 3 bids on that, or quotes I should say, for it because we have 9,000 in budget. A couple of them were 1,000 or 2,000 over that, but one came right at our budget amount. So we're going to go ahead and go with that one. So we'll be getting electrical this year out to the shed then, since that came into budget. We are getting a new 2 to 5 year old play system. I think that's mentioned, through the park board, they recommend that. Supposed to get delivered this week. Hopefully with the snow, everything's on time. I haven't got the exact delivery date, but they thought either Thursday or Friday, so it'll get delivered. And we're looking at installation in April here, so.
Was there something in your email about that place?
I think I
But I think you
probably
put 2027, I was like, holy smokes. I'm not trying to correct you if you're, I thought I saw something, I was like, man, okay, it might have been my mistake, I thought, okay.
That's good, though, that it's getting installed.
It's getting installed in April,
Okay.
yeah, so maybe wrong date in there, but it's supposed to get delivered.
Oh, yeah, right here, the new play set for 2 to 5 year olds for Lions Park is scheduled to be delivered next year.
Oh, next month I meant, sorry.
Okay, I was like.
It's next month.
I was like,
yes.
that's crazy.
Yep, that is mine, so
Okay.
that is. So we should be getting that, and then we have got egg lime delivered. We're gonna be redoing the egg lime in the ball field, the big ball field down in Lions Park as well, and that was in budget. So get that delivered, working with ISG to kind of get it marked out, Blue Top to figure how much we need where, and we'll get that distributed too, so. Those are my little updates. Oh, and I the concession stand out there, we have confirmation that we do have Dave Dershan with the Humboldt Street Bar. He is going to, for the season, be running the concession stand out there, so.
Wow.
Yay.
Awesome. How about
Yeah, I just
that?
touched base something this week, so we've got somebody who's running it, so.
Wow.
Yeah. So, got them updates. What I had in my report, just to highlight a couple things. We've talked about having a meeting, with the property owners on Kelly Avenue to discuss, the various drainage options. Obviously around ISG present. We thought we would do that at this, kind of before the second meeting in April, so it'd be like the 21st. That way we know ISG is available, whatnot. We thought we were looking at like 5:30 to have that meeting, 5:30 to 6, and then of course then we can have our 5:30 to 6:30, and then we can have our council meeting at 7. We don't want a quorum present, but hopefully the people in that ward, so Michelle and Cindy can make it to it, and if we can have another one present, it's open to whoever wants to attend, and that way then we can have that kind of meeting, then we can kind of have an update for the whole council at the council meeting, so.
I should be free if you need somebody.
Okay.
April 7th? would you
It's
say?
21st, it'd be the second
21st?
meeting,
Second
so I
meeting.
think that's the 21st. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
April 21st.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's good. I'm good.
Are you good? Okay, so it'd be great for you there.
And I think I'll come, so Keith, Cindy,
And
Michelle.
Michelle and you, yep.
Yeah, okay.
And that way then we can have that meeting, see what kind of feedback we get, if
Right.
everybody's in favor or not, and then.
Yeah, they've
give
had
the
a few months
council-
to think
whole
about
council
it.
an update,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, well, I'll work on getting a letter out to the residents then and inviting them to that, so.
Good.
Sound like a plan? Okay. Otherwise, we talked about that AED grant. I did apply for a small grant through the Hartford Community Foundation for hopefully some funds. We know we need a new dishwasher at the senior center, so I did apply for that grant as well. Like I said, last meeting, have not heard anything on that yet though, so hopefully we'll maybe hear from something for the next meeting there. Also just want to give you a little update. Our bridge inspection, as you know, we've got 4 bridge structures or culverts. It was on the rotation that 2 of them need to be inspected every 2 years and 2 of them every 4 years. So now they've done a little, and I thought we were only going to have 2 inspected this year. After talking with the state, the federal commission actually made some changes in the requirements for inspections. They're all need to be inspected every 2 years. So we'll have 4 structures that will be inspected this year, and then 2 years we'll have all 4 again. And that's a change on the federal level that they did. So just wanted you guys to be aware of that. That's kind of the highlights. Any questions for me?
I don't necessarily have a question. I'm just gonna, it's something I probably brought up a couple of years ago, and I was just doing some research on it, but this would probably be more on like the city maintenance side. So when I was over at the wastewater treatment plant, when Dusty was here, I was looking at, it's probably before that, when I was looking at all of the equipment, right? There's a lot of equipment within that structure. And then you look at all of our mowers, you look at all of our vehicles, you look at, as obviously as a city, we're expanding. And one thing that I think that we lack on, for sure on the public works side, is I don't think that we're utilizing technology in a like a day-to-day management way. So, like there's softwares out there where you can put in work orders, the maintenance guys can see it, you can do maintenance, you can track all of your maintenance that needs to be done on everything. I just wonder if there would be, not necessarily now, but like, I guess I want us, like we have technology, and I think that there's ways that we can implement that technology to making sure that we're maintaining the stuff we have to work more, so our guys are working more efficiently.
We have looked at a couple programs like
Yeah.
that. I mean, always there's vendor companies that want to introduce their products to you. So we've looked at some things. It kind of comes down to, how much are you saving versus the cost of implementing that? We do track all of our maintenance, and right now we're kind of doing the old-fashioned way with spreadsheets or whatnot on the computer or whatnot. So I mean, it's not like we're not tracking anything or whatnot. We're keeping all the records. We print our own work orders in-house, and we have a system for tracking them and for filing them or whatnot. So I mean, I understand what you're saying through
so it
software,
sounds like there's
but like I
something
said,
there.
it's me and Craig have talked about, and we've also kind of looked at tracking vehicles and fleet. It's like, what does it come down to? I don't know if we're quite there to justify the cost. I think that's kind of where me and Craig are at. At some point, we will be, like you said, as we're growing.
Yeah.
We will
I think,
definitely.
and I appreciate your break, because I don't know the inner workings of it, but, sometimes it'd be nice, like, okay, like, I don't want to micromanage people, but it'd be nice, like, I know, like, within my company, there's certain tasks that people do, and I'm like, okay, I want this tracked, so I know how long it takes, so we can plan and prepare and budget, I'm just throwing it out there, we can talk about it a different time, but.
Definitely understand, like I said,
Yeah.
we've had those talks, and we've kind of looked at a couple of things, and you're right, at some point, there
Might
are
make
things
sense.
out there that.
I think that'd be one, Teresa, maybe to put on our list when Craig and Karen and you and I sat down and talked for, at least to have,
Keep it in the forefront.
Yep. Good idea.
Like a maintenance ticket system.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Teresa? Anybody got any questions for her? Not, we'll move on. Old business. There's one item in here, and it's on America 250. Teresa's just really giving us an update. Tyler was here last meeting. She has talked with the Jamboree Committee and the Women's today, and they are going to use America's 250 as their parade theme and Jamboree Day theme. We talked a little bit about the, I don't know if you put that, oh yeah, you did. That we should really seriously talk about a 4th of July community
Yes.
celebration, hot dog pops, whatever, free swimming, maybe get somebody to do some
Maybe
fireworks.
A little bit of a community
Something.
event, kind of a community meal, like the mayor said.
I think
maybe
we
allow
should
free
really-
swimming, you know, just have something in the park. We can kind of push that a little bit,
Yep.
so.
I think what we should do is kick something out, maybe in the next newsletter on the website, and see if we can't pick up 3, 4, 5 citizens that would make up a committee to be the local Hartford 250 committee.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
And it's on a Saturday this year.
Yep.
It is on a Saturday this year.
Incredible.
Like the mayor said, you know, the jamboree, the parade theme's gonna be American
Yep.
250, so that's great. Next meeting, I thought I'd prepare a resolution, you know,
Yep.
in there Tyler suggested, just, you know, preparing a resolution, so I'm gonna do that. Are you guys interested in me getting some prices and like banners downtown and maybe a couple flags and whatnot? Because I think that would be nice to be able
Yes.
to show it off that way.
Yep.
We could put a, you know, in the park, we have the flag poles, and maybe work with the downtown Hartford committee and
Totally.
at some point be
Yep.
able to put banners up as well. So I can get some pricing on that as well. I think that would be something easy enough to do that would
Yep.
be very visible to the community or whatnot. So we'll,
Maybe even too, who is in charge of, like, you can have you purchase a flag and they put the post in your yard.
Optimus.
That's the Optimist Club.
Maybe they, I don't know how they're funded or anything, or maybe even if the city could help, where we have a commemorative flag during that time, you know? I mean, it
Ooh.
might be, you know.
Use that, yeah.
Use that
Well, I think the
as-
Optimist Club would have for sure some interest in getting involved. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm a member, I guess.
do you know what,
I don't know how
I said
that.
first thing is
Right.
maybe see what size flag they use and then.
I think those
have
are
to get
3 by
prices.
5s,
I
if
think,
I'm
I
not
think the
mistaken.
only problem, and just so you know, I love the
Yeah.
idea, is that you only use that, so it depends on who's buying, because
Right.
Right.
I just became,
Yeah.
our business became a member, so we become a member, then you get the flags, right? You know, with the 250th flag, you only become, or, you know, they only get to use that flag once.
Yeah, that's,
But I think you
Right.
bring up an interesting point, because the Optimist Club, I'm sure that they're gonna do something for that, but I think,
Well, they hang a flag no matter what on July 4th.
oh, yeah, I forget, it's July 4th, yeah. Yeah, but,
So, I mean, the flags that would be there, you would have to replace, well, not replace them, but put in old
put a
flags.
different flag, yeah, put
There's
the
a lot of
250th flag.
Yeah.
Or, but even members within the community, maybe they don't have an Optimist flag, but
Yep.
maybe they have a flagpole, maybe they have
Right.
a flagpole on their home, that they would be interested in purchasing a flag for their home.
I've
you
already
know,
been
or-
looking, I'm gonna, because I have a nice flagpole right
maybe
You
you
do
can put it
have a
out to the
nice
community
flagpole.
and say, hey, get your orders of flag, you know, people can,
Correct,
you know,
yeah.
hey, get your orders of flags in.
Yeah, here's
Come in
the
and pay,
flag,
here's the price.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
we would love to encourage as many of
Yes.
the community to come in and purchase a
I
commemorative
think that
flag.
you just volunteered yourself to be on the committee.
Yep, I think, get some prices. I would bet if you wanted to, since Mark at Maximum's big in this, I bet he would come out.
Yeah, and that's what I
He's
thought
a-
I did.
I mean, he's
because
a
they're the
West Central grad.
official
Yes.
sponsors with it, so I was just
So,
gonna give him a call and see if he
Mark
could not give me
Nelson,
some.
Paul Nelson's brother, yeah,
get
he,
some-
I would venture if you called him, he'd come out.
Yep.
Or even
He's
a-
already been out
Even a
once, actually,
lighting, like
giving
light
information.
your homes up,
Yep.
like Christmas,
Yeah.
4th of July. I
Yes.
mean, there's a lot, like, try and get all of Hartford and the community members themselves involved in their homes and like, let's celebrate this as much as possible.
Do we allow fireworks on New Year's Eve? Oh, man, I'm losing my mind. Obviously, July 4th.
Yeah.
Does that start on the 3rd and go to the 5th?
Yeah, it's
typically?
in the ordinance.
We've talked about
Second,
this,
yes.
right? So is it the 2nd through the, or 3rd through the,
I wanna say it's the 3rd through the 5th.
yeah, which is good
Something
enough.
like that.
Okay.
Maybe it's the 2nd through the 5th, but it's yeah.
Yeah,
it
because
gives
we
you
had
like
this
a
conversation.
Couple days before,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say, Teresa, keep plowing forward, let's
Okay,
get this
I'll get you
going,
some
but
more
get a
on it.
note
We'll
out.
kinda revisit this
Yeah.
every meeting and
Yep,
keep.
let's see if we can't get somebody
Thank
to
you, I love all
jump
of
on the
that.
committee.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that's
So
awesome.
any message for the Optimists? They actually have a meeting at 6:30 at the Hartford Steakhouse this week.
optimistic.
Are you in the club?
Yeah.
You should just see if they have any level of interest in getting
No,
involved.
you're in
on
charge
this.
of that one. You
Just
just
talking
volunteered for
about it.
that.
I'm guessing no, because they already put up the flag.
Right.
But I.
No, but I would be curious, yeah. Answer's always, remember, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, you know?
But, yeah, we'll see. But, yeah, I'll just mention that the city is thinking about it.
Right.
That'd be great.
And Dr. Ben Jones is a friend of mine, so he's the head of the whole deal, so, yeah.
There you go.
All right, let's move to new business. Sorry, Tim, now you're here, you're on. First up is budget fund request from the Humboldt Ambulance Service. This is budgeted for this year. Tim's here. This is kind of a good chance for you to give us a little report. But I had a question. Can I ask a question before you start?
Absolutely.
Do you
I'll
know,
either have it.
or be able to
make
find it?
something up.
Okay. Good answer. What are your numbers of calls in, I know you track that between Hartford and Humboldt. Is your numbers of calls in Hartford high or normal, or?
Typically, well, I'll start for those who don't know. Tim,
Oh,
even though for
sorry.
ambulance,
Sorry,
you're requesting
I threw you off.
funds.
Yeah.
With that, yes. This past year, in 2025, we were down slightly on call volume from the year previous to that.
Yeah.
We had about 303 calls per service, of which there was just a little over 200 calls to the Hartford zip code. We do
Okay.
not break it down by townships, we do not
Okay.
break it down by municipality
Okay.
or not. It's by zip code for us. I guess going forward, if you want that, I'm not doing it, but I can request and see if I get a shot for saying it.
I'm just curious.
But yeah, it typically stays about that.
Okay.
The last few years it has been. We've been running, like I said, this year down a little bit to just a little over 300. We've been as high as 340 calls per service.
Okay.
But I guess the percentage stays roughly the same for the Hartford zip code.
Okay. Sorry. I've been thinking about that.
And that's, like I said, it's been running that way for the past several years. But we were out at the beginning of this month going to all the township meetings for their annual meetings. We do go there requesting funds from them. We do get funds from the municipalities of Humboldt, Hartford, and the county. All the money we bring in from that will go towards staffing. To staff an ambulance with a medic. And by the time you get your work comp and your liability insurance, you'll go north of $200,000. So the money that we bring in is going towards that. In the past, we've been kind of supplementing some of it with monies that we bring in, obviously, from billing for calls.
Right.
But I did check with our salesman around the beginning of the year for an ambulance. The price of that, our ambulance will be 5 years old in another month. It will be. Not looking to replace it right now, but just out of curiosity, I asked, and he said that same ambulance has now gone up $100,000 from 5 years ago. So we're in the process of, we're going to start setting a little more money aside to replace an ambulance. Typically, and this will go back a long time ago, when I got on the ambulance, when we got a new one, our old one went to Mexico. Nobody wanted it. So we switched from that mentality to trying to trade out a little more often before we have some issues. And we were doing it about every 6 years. We're not going to be trading every 6 years now. It's the cost of them, although you would probably retain a little more money in our old ambulance. Our old one, when we got rid of that, we sold it privately. We did not trade it because we could get a better deal going private. I think we got, that one went to Colorado, and we got like $35,000 for it.
Okay.
Would we see more out of this one? If we do, and the kind of the kicker of it is, he said, if you ordered, this was the beginning of the year, if you ordered it then, he said 2 years before you will see an ambulance.
Yeah.
Whereas that kind of, that's different. Usually, you have them within 6 to 9 months, pretty easy all the
Right.
time. Now it's kicked down the road a little bit further,
Yeah.
so. We're probably gonna possibly look at the end of this year, talk it over, see what things look like, and maybe get in the building queue of, if it is gonna be 2 years, obviously then we'd be looking, at 8, 9 years old by the time we'd see the one,
Is that-
or replace one we have.
I'm assuming, Tim, that's similar to the fire department when they did theirs, they had to put so much money down to get a spot in the line.
He didn't say that, I didn't ask that.
Okay,
I didn't want to ask and have him say yes.
yeah.
So, like I said, we're requesting the release of funds for the 26 calendar year, and like I said, we are supported by county, municipalities, and townships. All we kick money into that. So, with that, if you have
Well,
any
when you
questions-
need you, you need you.
Yep, and today we were needed, I guess. We had 3 calls this morning, but I had to go to a county commission meeting, but, yeah, it was, yeah.
3 calls this morning.
Between 7:30 and noon, I think it was. Then it quieted down this afternoon. Good for that, but-
That's
Yeah,
good.
and the way it looks right now, tracking, we're kind of on the same numbers as we were last year at this time when we were at this meeting.
Okay.
Our numbers were extremely high, we said, ooh, we're gonna be over and above what we normally have. Things quieted down, so it ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
But, right now, we're on pace, I guess I would say that.
So what is the lifespan of an ambulance then?
Well, as I said, you can run the wheels off of them. Not picking on Del Rapids, they're getting a new ambulance, one of their ambulances is getting replaced, and talking with the guy that runs their service. He said that thing is starting to cost them so much money to try to put on the road, and it's not reliable. And they got caught flat-footed and said, now we need an ambulance. They didn't set money aside, and they're scrambling right now. They got a new one coming. They got a demo unit coming they're gonna pick up in another month. But, for us, like I said, if you wanna run the wheels off them, you can, but it's gonna start costing money. And like I said, as you said, when you need it, you need it.
You need
and
it. Yeah.
It wouldn't sound
So
good
is
to
it
say,
like a
hey,
5
call
year? Is
mutually.
it
No,
7, 10?
I wouldn't wanna go past 10.
Okay.
Personally, the miles you put on are hard miles, I
Yeah.
guess you might say. We don't take it to church. Well, we go to churches. But, you know, when we go fast. As the bumper sticker says, get the hell out of my way, I'm late for church. So, but no, it is harder miles that get put on them.
Yeah.
You run them hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and then from the hospital back to at least Dairy Queen, it gets run hard, and then we meander back to Humboldt. Because we got a couple of people in our department that do not pass that. We're thinking about maybe getting them on a roster so they can get the tone that they, if we got a call, they can go open up. We got some guys that really like their ice cream, but,
I did see the ambulance sitting
oh,
there.
we've been here several times. It does go to the drive-through, we've tested that early on, so, but, no, I would say, like I said, the last several, we've shot for about 6 years. This one, I would think, if we push 8 or 9, is probably where we're gonna be at realistically, just because the cost has gone up so much.
I got a question, Tim, and I'm just going through the budget, I guess so. So this is from all of 2025. So ambulance payroll expenses is 200,000. Explain that to me, how that breaks. I'm just kind of curious, so.
Well, and with that, so, and I'm running off memory.
Yep.
And I think Mr. Rochek can say, you should know your numbers. It was at 8,760 is what's sticks in my head, 24/7 is what you have to have.
Okay.
And by the time you throw some overtime with that, I want to bump up our wages of our medics. We've got a good crew. We have realized that we just brought a new medic on here at the beginning of the year. It used to be you went and kind of tried to cherry pick from other ambulance services is where you went with.
Yeah.
If you wanted a paramedic, that's where the paramedics were. We have learned through this last process of bringing an individual on, there are now clinics in Sioux Falls that instead of hiring another nurse, can get by cheaper if they hire a paramedic. So now the medics aren't just necessarily an ambulance service or something like that. They're going to clinics where you've got a controlled work schedule.
Correct.
You do not have to get up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You do not have to go down to the road ditch. You have air conditioning in the summer and you have heat in the winter. Paramedics are starting to look at that as a better option than And again, we don't, we don't run, on average, we don't run a call a day, but now today we had 3. It'll keep you busy for a while, but there's downtime, but as I said to some of the township boards, when we get a call, it's typically not, hey, do you wanna, come grab a bite to eat? There's something wrong.
Yeah.
It's a high stress, maybe low volume type
Yeah.
call. So, yeah, with that,
So you have like 3 or 4 people that are on,
no, we got about 7.
7
7
that are on
medics.
call, right?
Well, otherwise the overtime would kill you.
Exactly, okay, that
So,
makes sense,
but
okay.
running 12-hour shifts is very tough to get away from overtime.
Yeah,
It's just the nature of it.
The nature of it, yeah.
You'll run into overtime pretty quick, and then there goes the wages. But, yeah, like I said, we've got an excellent crew.
do you have any medics that live in Hartford, or people that work for the Humboldt Fire and Ambulance that live in Hartford?
Yes,
Okay.
yep. But see, we got living quarters on the hall.
Okay, so people, okay, I'm just totally new, like, so
Yeah,
someone is
Here
there.
a few years back, well, John Jarding was chief at that time,
Yeah.
and we sat down and talked about it, and said, the way this is going, and if we go to advanced life support, ALS, 24/7, we're not gonna be able to rely on, before it was basic life support, and it was just people of the community. We said with that, we are not gonna be able to have people living in Humboldt that can be on call.
Yep.
So we added on 2 extra bays to the fire hall,
Yep.
just for 1 ambulance, put on 2, put in a small meeting room in the living quarters with a kitchenette and bedrooms.
Shower.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, all that. That got put on because we said, we got people that come from Harrisburg, Sioux Falls, some live in Humboldt.
Okay.
Here, it's just part of it, I guess, now.
I'm oblivious, because I'm thinking they get an ambulance call, maybe they drive there, get the ambulance, but no, there's someone waiting for that phone to ring.
Unless they're, the kicker of it is for us, to stretch the budget
Yep.
out a little better, we do put volunteer, somebody that's willing to leave their job,
Yep.
no matter, what time of day, we have people that leave, and that's an unpaid job
Right.
to go along with the medic.
Okay.
So, but yes, the medics are paid, volunteers, we do pay a weekend, if you want to take shifts on weekends, that means you will be within a certain distance of the hall, so much time. So we'll kick some money in just to make sure that, for a while, it was who's on call, who isn't type thing for weekends. It kind of freed up and lets other people know, unless it's something real serious, then we'll get more people showing up. But if it's just I should say a standard call, but if it's just a normal call, it's covered.
Okay.
So
That's crazy. Thank you for doing that.
it's rewarding, I guess, but, there's times I spend most of my day today in meetings for this
Yeah.
thing. But, yeah. I think if you double my pay, I think it still equals the same.
Yeah, 2 times 0. I once was
Don't think we use that
central,
term in
2
school,
times
but
0 is
Bob
0.
wasn't one that we used. Yeah.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the release of budget fund request to Humboldt Ambulance Service in the amount of $25,000.
Second. Good job, Daryl.
All right, any discussion? Be careful. We're sitting by a bunch of old guys. We'll vote. Carlson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Horacek?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
And if I may, it is St. Patty's Day, and I am half Irish.
Oh.
If I may.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
A saying that I saw today that said, "May the winds of fortune sail you. May you sail a gentle sea. May it always be the other guy who says, 'This drink's on me.'" With that, I'm out of here before I have to find
My drink. Hey,
All right.
that's good. Thanks, Tim. All right, next up, we have Dr. Knight here to talk about the school's request discuss their application for our economic development funds. Dr. Knight, sorry you had to sit here for so long.
No, it's
but-
all good. Thanks for having me. Again, Eric Knight, Superintendent of West Central. A couple weeks ago, Teresa emailed that the city was accepting proposals for economic development. And one area that we try really hard to expand in is our career technical education, but they're really high-cost programs, whether it's welding, we have some simulators now, all of our home ec, we don't call them home ec anymore, but home ec classes.
Yeah.
All those high-cost programs, there's lots of funds going in with not a lot coming out. But one area that we have some coming out is our residential construction, and that's where this proposal kind of has its basis. I don't know what you have or what you don't have, so I'm going to give a 10,000-foot view, and then if you have questions, let me know.
You bet.
So in our residential construction class, students start the first year, and they build and sell 2 sheds. The revenue from those sheds buys the materials for the next shed, usually, and hopefully replace some tools or equipment depending upon what they need. After they take that class, then it's a 2-year cycle to build a house. And so they might be in the first part where they're framing and windows and that, or they're in the second year where they're drywalling, shingling, and doing some of those things. After the 2-year cycle of building the house, we have an auction and we sell it. And so in 2019, we sold the house in Centerville. I was there at that time, got to increase its student population, got to increase its population as a city because the house went there. In 2021, the house went to Flanders, same type of deal. In 2024, a couple summers ago, it went to Freeman, a young family bought it, they had 2 kids, and Freeman got to reap the benefits of it. And so one of the things that Mr. Voss, an instructor, and Dr. Barron, our high school principal, we talked about is, what could we do? Why are we
Shipping
doing a
to
lot of
other
work?
communities,
And why is he going to other communities to make their places better? What could we do here? And we just don't have the funds to buy the lot. And so that's where the 50,000 to 75 is just off of what the retail or realtor real estate lot prices are right now. So that's what the price would be. We think that by the time we put in a foundation and do our work, after that, then we just keep doing it. Instead of building it at the school, we would just buy the next lot and go. And again, hopefully, it's a reoccurring economic development impact instead of just a one-time project, giving some money to get this business in. This would be in affordable housing. So in 2019, the house sold for $91,500. In 2021, it sold for $127,500. In 2024, it sold. It was a great time. 2 people really wanted it, and it went for $160,000. But there's 1,600 square foot homes on the main level that's finished. It's got 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a mudroom, kitchen, dining room, living room, and then we would put it on a foundation that had a basement for more equity and more space, and then an attached garage that we wouldn't put on, but the person buying it could put it on. If we got it, right now it's basically our residential construction class, the 2-year cycle that we talked about. We also have a bunch of students in accounting, marketing, in our, again, I'm gonna call it home ec because that's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
In our home ec, they do interior design, and so they help us sometimes with just some promotional, cute things that the females, when they come there to look at the open house, oh, that's what I could put there, kind of scenario. And so we have a bunch of tie-ins in our proposal, and all of those teachers are on board, and again, willing to try to keep a project that we have here in Hartford, to stay here in Hartford, and then again, by the next lot, 2 years later, we have a house that can be sold, and hopefully in a kind of first-time home buyers or second-time home buyer scenario where they have some young kids, build our population, build our sales tax revenue, and let it be a continuous
And also
project.
train the students, right? I mean, you.
Well, that's why we do it, yeah,
Yeah.
see what
I
they
mean,
want to
it's-
go into, or know for sure what they don't want to go into.
Yeah.
And then again, those are high-priced classes, but they do a really good job of plumbing, electrical, all of those sorts of scenarios where they say, yeah, that's what I want to go into. They don't go to the university and spend 2 years worth of tuition and then decide, oh, I should have just gone here.
Yeah.
They know going in.
So on the lot, when you do the foundation, is that part of the construction class too? Or is that just a purchased, where you're having a construction company do that?
So we would buy it, the lot, and then our FFA has to do a bunch of land testing, and so they want to come there before we do anything and do all of their land judging on that piece of land. But we would hire out
Probably
a construction
concrete.
company
Yeah.
to do the foundation.
Yeah.
So this is our first, right? First application.
No, second.
No, at the last meeting.
Okay, I wasn't here at the last meeting, so there
That was with
wasn't.
the lights for,
The chain-
Oh, that's
sorry,
right.
with chain
Okay,
came with
okay.
lights along the trail.
That's right,
And no action was taken at that
Right.
one, just,
right. Did we put a deadline on when people could apply? No.
no, I mean,
Okay.
obviously this year the funds are gonna be dispersed.
Yeah.
I've got a couple, sorry.
Yep, no,
I've got a
go
couple
ahead.
of questions, because I love so I'm a recruiter, I work in the construction industry, so I've got a lot of my clients throughout the country are all looking for, as you know, plumbers, electricians. There's actually some studies coming out where plumbers are gonna be, probably in the next 5 years, are gonna be making more money than your average attorney. You know, like, who thought we'd live in a world where that's the case? So I love this because I see this, in my everyday world where, I'm not kidding, I mean, Michelle, your husband's a superintendent at Howe, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can come out of school, out of high school, out of career technical school or whatever, and it is not uncommon to find a job paying you $55,000 or $60,000 in the trades. Good luck going,
Easily.
At least that.
good luck finding a marketing company to pay you that, right? You might take 3 or 4 or 5 years to get there. So I like this.
There's a lot of companies, so like with the company that my husband works
Yep.
for, they'll
probably-
train you right, and
Yep.
that your schooling is done through how, you
Yep.
don't even pay for schooling.
Yep.
Like, you don't even go to Southeast Tech,
We
it's
have
all,
we have a dozen
it's all
students that do
in-house.
internships and apprenticeships right
yeah,
with
it's amazing.
plumbers and electricians.
So, and you ask a good question, because I was wondering, okay, so obviously the foundation, that's a little more technical, but a lot of these kids, because I've wondered that, when they're built, so obviously they're doing the structure, the wood framing, the windows, but are they doing some of the electrical in the house? I mean, like,
The electrical, then it's inspected, and we
Of
have
course.
an electrician that oversees, yep, we have to change.
and then the
this,
plumbing
that.
as well, too.
Same thing.
That's really cool. So then this brings up another point. Keith, just hop in. I know you're the new guy here, but you can cut me off. I'm an old dog. So kind of an interesting point just as we receive these applications. So when I look at this one, and I like the light idea, but I'm just causing some discussion here. And but this is economic development funds. And I think that there's a broader question here it just made me think, is putting up streetlights, is that economic development? That's a whole nother, we don't have to have that debate, or not streetlights, but lights
Right.
within it. It just brings up another question, because this is classified as economic development. So when I think of economic development, I think of, driving some sort of revenue here, right? Driving some sort of revenue, creating a tax base. When I think of economic development, those are the things I think of. But the broader question is, we don't have to answer it right now, but it's on my mind, is just putting up lights, which I think is a great idea, on the bike paths. Is that economic development? We don't have to answer that right now. So I will rest my case. But I think this is honestly a great project, because I have a passion for this stuff.
But I think the intent, if I recall, the intent was to get people to think out of the box. That's what we were hoping for.
Yep.
Let's see what people come up with. And in my opinion, this is one of the ideas that,
I would have never thought of that.
yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you presented this, because now this gives us, and I wasn't here at the last meeting, so I wasn't in on the light discussion.
I think when
Neither was
these-
Michael, because he was gone.
When these proposals come before you, like I said, we developed
Yeah,
that criteria.
right.
You gotta think,
Right.
look at those, what is the community impact? What's the
Right,
feasibility?
right.
What's the sustainability of it? Can it keep going forward?
Right.
Like, this is-
Yes.
I mean, kind of rank all
Yep.
these, keep these in mind when you're thinking about it,
And I really think that's the next step as a council. We all need to look at this and say, look at the two that we've received. Where do we think these stand? How do we
stand with each
envision
other.
that this
I know.
fits in?
Yeah, I
Right.
do love that, because as soon as you were talking about the houses, and we have one in Freeman and one went here.
Centerville,
I
yeah.
immediately in my head, I'm like, why in the world?
That's not what you thought, but we'll go with that.
Yeah, one of the
Why-
criteria is
Why
return
are
on,
we not having
return on
those
investment.
here?
Yeah.
Stay
You know,
here
Right.
within
This is giving us a
Hartford.
return.
And I
mean,
love,
Look at those things.
I love that the thought is that this is what will project it, so that this is the stepping stone that's needed,
Right.
and then you can continue on.
Well,
You
they're,
know?
they're answering one of the questions, which is what we want.
Yeah.
Is this something that would be perpetual?
Yep.
And your hope would be, if you can keep funding the program to build them,
Yeah, and
That this
as long
would-
as we continue to sell it.
Correct.
And we have, we.
that you got
Yeah.
feeder money, you
Yeah.
could make this
It'll be
perpetual.
sustainable.
Okay.
Yep.
Where, go ahead, Keith, I feel like you.
You know, I
Yeah.
do have a question.
Yeah.
Now, where would you buy the lot?
That's,
Because.
Somewhere in Hartford.
Or in the school district,
I think
right?
this might go to your answer, because.
Well,
if
you're-
If you put in
I
a
mean,
lot,
potentially.
like in, let's say, in Turtle Creek, I don't know, does a contractor actually let you put one there? Because if I'm building a $600,000 house, I'm not gonna want the 160 house right next to me.
And you do got a point there. There are certain developments that have
Yeah,
covenants
so this
that
is-
you have to build
So
on
that's
site.
160 with
So-
no flooring, no kitchen cabinets.
Right.
No basement, you have to move it.
Sure, but.
So it's a 1,600 square foot house just on the main level with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths.
But I suppose,
But-
like you said, maybe in those development areas, don't know the.
They have certain, yeah, I know, like where we live, Eric,
Yeah.
in Kelly Point. Gotta have this much brick, gotta have this much trees, gotta have this much this, and this, gotta have 3-stall garage, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of areas in Hartford that are the same way. Party, you have to have certain thing, maybe.
You can't just move any.
Knapsack, they're all, but are there areas in Hartford where they can buy a lot? Sure, South Main, Costello.
So you think you're
you
gonna
know-
be okay finding a place, fourth that it sort of fits?
Well, he's
in?
waiting to see if we're gonna give him the money.
Well, I think we will be able to, just based upon what the house that we currently build is, and what I see.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, even if we look at, maybe even some of, you know, areas of town that there are open lots that maybe people are hanging on to,
Right.
you know, that may,
Right.
because there are lots around town, in the middle of town here, that are, there are not houses on them. Someone has double lots. And maybe they would be willing to sell it, and that house would fit into the parameters of that area. You know, it kind of depends upon the timeframe.
yeah, and that's all the logistics, yeah, I mean, and those, yeah, I think it's a.
I think that's all stuff we have to talk, I think we need
Has
to,
another school done this? Have you seen this idea? I'm just curious.
So when I was at Centerville, we helped our Centerville Economic Foundation rehab. They were rehabbing a bunch of properties with some HUD funds. And we would send our kids, they would, you know, because they didn't have any money.
Yep.
And so they're getting some grant dollars, 80/20, and trying to find whatever they can to do that. And so we would send our students there, they would help. They had a one-person, one-man construction site, and then he'd wait for the kids to come, and they'd get to work, and they'd rehab a house and sell it, and then rehab the next one. And so similar, but not
yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly. We never, I mean, our kids, they build the whole thing.
Yeah, that, I think it's phenomenal.
Okay, one more random question
Absolutely.
that it actually doesn't really pertain to this, but with the kids, because I love the program that you have, and do you guys ever look at maybe going within the community, maybe seniors that own super old homes, they can't do the work, maybe some remodels, things of that, replacing windows, anything on that side
We
where,
haven't, but
just
I mean,
a
for the right
thought to
project,
throw
I
it
know
out
that-
there?
I've got a couple
mean-
doors that need replaced. I'll talk to
Seniors.
Mr. Ross.
You could be at Sean's house for a long time.
Yeah, you could. Yes.
So the plan is to buy a lot within the West Central School District, and that'd be one of the.
yeah. I mean, I think that
Those we could put in, or-
within Hartford, it would be,
Ideal for
More sustainable.
logistics,
Yeah,
and because we would send our students there every day, we would send tools, equipment.
you'd want them fairly close.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Oh, I like this.
No, I think the product is fantastic.
Yeah, I
like
think
the
this,
trade thing.
I think this is gonna give us something good to talk about. I think that, and I appreciate the fact that you brought that forward, because I think that's gonna give us a, because now we got two that are really to Sean's point, we got two projects that are really on different
Yeah. I mean,
streets, so to
yeah,
speak,
I mean,
you know?
and
Quality of life is certainly an aspect of economic development.
Sure, see, that's, you can fit anything under economic development.
Sustainability
Yeah.
and building hopefully our population with
Right.
affordable housing is.
But I really.
But on the same side, we only have two. We have
So far,
100,000.
yep, right,
But this
We
is
have
where I
one
think we
person
should put
asking
some
for
level of cutoff
25
on this.
yeah.
You know,
Maybe we need to put a
so,
cutoff,
yeah.
so we're not sitting here 8 months down the road and just
Have to
broader.
spend the money.
So
Yeah,
in terms of that timeline, we will be selling our house in June, the one that's
and so they'll be starting another one next
next
school,
fall.
next
Okay.
school year.
Okay. So you would, okay, that's good to know.
Do you have a projected area of a possibility of a lot, since June is when that house will be sold and,
But this one could be sold to anybody,
oh,
basically.
this.
Yeah, this one wouldn't go
so-
there.
Okay,
We would build it
gotcha.
on
He's talking the next
Okay,
one would be
gotcha.
the one, because they want to locate the lot, get the
Yeah.
basement built, right? That's your
Okay.
And
intent.
build it on site.
Correct.
I've got 2 more questions on this, Mayor.
Okay, because I want to keep him here for one more topic here on the
Perfect.
agenda.
So with this, would this expand, because right now you guys are just, you're not doing the finishes in the house, right? You're not, or like when I say the finishes, the flooring, the cabinetry,
So in 2019, they did and found that people wanted to pick their own.
correct?
And so the last two, we have not, well, it'll be 3 now.
And then obviously you know what that does, right? Because you guys have to, it dries up your costs.
But at the same time, I know that they build their own cabinets and don't install them, which
That is
is
really
wild to
cool.
me, but people want to pick their own. And so I would like it to go in there and it's kind of a full experience, but.
So this could potentially expand like their knowledge of the trades, getting into,
It's definitely the make or break, whether a kid says, I'm going right there out of high school,
Yeah.
or I'm going
Yeah.
there because of this class and my internship, or it says, I'm going to one of our technical colleges.
I'll say one other thing, then I'm done, Mayor.
Okay, go.
I've got a buddy who I went to high school with, and you probably remember Cully, don't you? He took a welding class at, and that was many years ago. They just started doing it with the CT or whatever. I don't even know what the name, the CT, I don't know. But now he, after college, and he's kind of a very eccentric individual, very eccentric, very talented. But he got really good into welding, so he started building these pipes and these for flat track, like dirt bikes. Runs his own pipe company. He got a spot on the team with Indian Motorcycle. They have like a flat track team. He was on their team. Now he's living out in California, and right out of high school he built his own bike. It was all in these world magazines, and it was because of, now he's doing major stuff, but it was because of getting introduced to welding through a program like that, so.
Wow.
Anyways, I'm done talking.
Participation's high in this program at
Yeah.
the school?
Definitely.
You don't have to turn anyone away, or,
Yeah, I mean, we only have room for about 20 kids in it, so.
oh, so you do have to turn some
Yeah.
away? And so you think of even expanding it to doing maybe 2 houses, or?
If the state decides to fund us at the law, maybe, but when we continue at 1.25 and 1.4, probably not. If they start following the law, maybe.
All right, very good.
There we go. Hey, if it's all right with the council?
Go ahead.
Anything else on this topic? Could you stick around, Eric, for
Yeah.
a second? I want to switch these two last ones, because I want to talk about scooters while I got you here.
You bet.
The reason I want to talk to you, the other day I stopped to talk to Jonah Ructabar, our deputy. He said he's been in conversation with Rockefeller?
Okay?
And he's going to try to get a couple of the deputies to assembly to talk to them about scooters, that age kids, the middle school age kids. Is that something we could maybe, is that the age group that we need to be talking to about scooters at school or not? Or younger kids? What do you think?
I would start with the younger ones if I was picking,
Okay.
4th, 5th graders.
Okay, okay. I don't know what your thoughts are. It's a problem. I'm just so afraid somebody's gonna get ran over. And I don't wanna have that happen.
Yeah.
And I'd like to give them some basic safety. So would it be okay if we had our deputy talk to the elementary principal? Should they be running this through you? how they want to do it, because I'd like to have them in front of these kids if they can for
Yeah, but I would
safety.
say our fourth and fifth graders
Yeah.
start there. I mean, there's obviously
Yeah.
some middle school kids driving them around and
Okay,
doing who knows what on them, but,
Yeah.
I mean, if you start with the younger ones and build good habits there, then there's less work down the road.
we also, under this topic, we're gonna discuss a little tonight, Brandon has put out an ordinance that they, you know, under a certain age, you gotta have helmets, all that stuff. And I think we're gonna discuss that a little bit tonight. But along with that, I believe that at their school, they had to have done some sort of training or did something to get this enforced. I don't know, did you find that out when you talked to them?
I don't know if they did any training.
But anyway, that's,
Bring your scooters in the gym. We're gonna set up a track.
So the sting operation.
but anyway, as long as you were here tonight, I just thought I'd ask you that couple questions and just see what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I would say that if we can catch the.
Fourth, fifth, sixth?
And give some awareness.
Yeah. Okay,
They're there.
yeah. Because that's, it's not going away. I was kind of hoping it would go away.
Yeah,
It's
they're
not.
going anywhere.
That's my old guy
Yeah,
talking.
they're not going.
That's my old guy voice talking. So,
I wanted to vote on it today, but that's all right, here's the plan.
You wanted to vote on the plan?
Yes.
yeah, no, yeah, we're just
Well-
discussing.
I think we need to put a time, I think we do need to put a,
Yeah.
at this point, I think we need to put a time limit on this.
On our, how many applications in by a certain time?
Yes, like, because I don't want people to
Yeah, okay.
come here, make a great presentation, and then they're waiting for 4 months.
Right.
But anyways,
All right.
that's my opinion.
Okay, thank you.
All right, yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Hey, good luck in Rapid,
Yeah, thank you.
and keep getting after it.
That's right, absolutely. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you very much.
since we jumped down to scooters, anything else we want to, because I think we just, did you put that on there basically for discussion?
Yeah, basically, you said you wanted to, so there's Brandon's ordinance that is in the packet for you guys to look at, let you know what they did. Yeah, the mayor wanted to bring it out again, kind of see if there's any more
Yeah.
discussion. Look at it, I guess, see if your thoughts, if you think we need to enact anything or not. I know those who were here last year, we've talked a little bit, a few times on this,
I know it.
scooters. What
Teresa,
do you do?
I
What
have
do
to
you
use the
do?
bathroom quick, since we don't have a quorum, do we have to take a pause or not?
We're not going to vote on anything
I
while
guess I can't vote anything without you, so
So,
wait for your.
I'll try to catch up with Jonah if I don't before I leave tomorrow. Maybe just mention to him that he should reach out maybe to the
To the
elementary school
school.
principal too.
Six.
I don't,
Okay.
what do they cut off here for middle schools? Is it 6th, 7th, 8th?
6th, 7th, and 8th is middle school, yeah.
So I really think,
Is it 6 too?
is it 6th, 7th, 8th?
6, 7, 8.
I think
Okay.
they've combined the three now, yeah, 6th,
Okay.
7th, and 8th.
Because I think we'd want to, I honestly think we want to hit them both. I think we want to talk with the 4th, 5th
And it certainly isn't gonna
kids
hurt
and
to hit
then
them
the
both.
6th, 7th, 8th.
Yeah.
So if you happen to see Jonah, have him do that.
Okay, yep. yep,
I have
will
no,
do.
I mean, we just put this on here for discuss. I have no problem if we move this to another meeting after he's had a chance to
Yeah,
talk
like
to
I
them.
said, just put it out there.
If that's
you guys
okay
start
with
thinking
everybody.
about it, and, yeah, we can talk about this at a later meeting.
And the Brandon thing, yeah, I mean, I read through it, I mean, it seems all reasonable, it's just
Yeah.
decide if we want to enforce it or not, I guess.
Right. and
That's the
it.
thing.
And that's what it all kind of comes down to,
Yeah.
is how do you enforce something like that?
Um,
That's always the hardest part of it.
Do you know how they enforce the penalty of $25?
I suppose
They
if they
ticket-
catch a kid.
ticket the kid?
Ticket, I suppose.
Yeah. I think they can ticket the kid or the parent, because I know Jonah says, like, with state law, if they're like on the street and breaking it, they can go back on the parent as well, yeah, so.
Right.
I think since they're minors, it ultimately comes down to the parents.
Sure.
So one of the physical therapists up here at Prairie Rehab lives in Brandon and drives over. She has a 14-year-old son. And so we had this discussion, because I told her this was coming up on our agenda. And I said, I know you guys have this ordinance, what do you think? She said, in her opinion, the ordinance is as much for the parents as it is for the kids. If the parents don't take the initiative to enforce it, you're not gonna get it enforced.
It's a parenting.
That's
This is a parenting
exactly
thing.
right. It starts with the parents.
I
If the
mean,
parents don't back it,
She,
then.
she liked some of the stuff because it was easier for them as a parent to say, hey, you gotta wear a helmet, it says this, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I think from her standpoint, she said it helped them because it gave them some talking points with their kids.
That's
So,
a good point.
as we move this forward, that may be, but I do think it's as important for the parents to understand that we're giving, basically, it's a tool for them.
How
When
does
you-
that ordinance get enforced?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
I
so
might-
that's kind of the thing, like,
I can do a little checking on
I-
that.
Brandon's got their own PD, so.
Yeah, they do have their own police department.
It is gonna be a little different, because.
you know, but I also don't want our deputy pulling kids, because, this is, I mean, we've had this conversation. I agree that, okay, we put this ordinance out, which I'm not disagreeing that it's a bad practice. I think putting on a helmet, I mean, I wear a bike helmet, okay? If I ride my bike in town, you're gonna see me with a helmet on. That's just how I was raised. But I would be curious around the actual legal enforcement of it, and also inundating, right, our deputy sheriff
Yeah.
with pulling. I really don't want to be known as that town where we have a deputy sheriff lighting up his cherries, right, pulling 20 kids over a day.
Maybe do a mailing or education at the school with all these pamphlets that go,
Yeah.
if it doesn't get fixed itself, this is the ordinance that we're gonna have to put in. Sort of a threatening of the.
Because it also kind of crosses over to, like, okay, we have, kids on these scooters, but we also have underage children driving golf
Golf
carts
carts.
all over the place.
That's another problem
So
that we
that
have.
is another huge problem.
Right.
So if we're gonna start having a penalty for kids on scooters, then we also need to have a penalty for all these kids on golf course,
We do.
golf carts that are
We have an ordinance with golf
underage.
carts. You have to be a licensed driver. If you're not, you could get a $200 fine. It
Yeah.
comes down to enforcement,
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that ordinance is in place.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so are we going to, like,
Right.
start enforcing?
well, I know we're not done talking about it, so, but I think we need to.
I think starting with the school is a really.
I think
good
the
first
school's a
step.
great
I think
idea.
that's what we had talked
Yeah.
about at
Yeah.
one of our last meetings, is
Right.
if we could get in front of the
Right.
kids, education, yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a
Jonah
good
says
starting point.
he's had conversation with them,
Yep.
so he started down that path, so
Yep.
that's good. I wanted you guys to know that. All right, let's jump up and talk about the yard waste disposal site one.
Yep, so I put this on, we had, I think a couple of meetings ago, you kind of brought this up, Michelle, is, do we want to expand our days and hours of the yard disposal site or not, or keep everything the same? So I wanted to kind of have that discussion before we open, because it does open in April, coming up here, so the first weekend in April till the fourth weekend in November it's open, so it's going to be opening. I would need to let our dump monitor know, I'd have to check with them to make sure they're okay with, if they'll do more hours, kind of we needed to kind of decide a few things here. Right now, it's open Tuesdays and Thursday afternoon, and then on Saturdays it's open. We've been doing that for a few years now, since we passed the ordinance. Seems to be working good, but it's really hard to accommodate everybody. I mean, there's always a day that somebody can't make it or whatnot, so.
In reality, like for me, it accommodates me, because I just know, but
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
had people reach out, and so it was just something I brought up.
Yep, so,
Because by
I mean,
no
yeah, so
means
this-
does it have to be implemented, but didn't know if it had ever been discussed before, so. Or if anybody else was hearing anything else,
But yeah. Yeah, so when it was originally said, I mean, that's what it
Yep.
was set at, so, so just want to have that discussion now before we open it, so if anybody if we're okay with what we got, to keep going. I mean, I think we're starting to get, like you, Michelle, people know now when it is, and I'm kind of starting to get them trained, so I think
Right.
it's working. I don't know if you say trained, but we don't get phone calls, is the dump open, is the dump open, where they kind of know it now, but,
All right,
So that's
yeah, unless anybody really has some strong disagreement, I'd say we keep our hours the
status
same.
quo, we're good on that, okay.
And
Okay.
then the other is the
It certainly
tree.
is a really nice,
It's a great amenity.
feature,
You bet it
yes, for
is.
Hartford.
It's an
Not a
amenity
lot of
that not a lot of
places-
towns have.
No.
Right.
No,
No?
just because of, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot to come with it, but yeah, you're right, it's a good
Mhm.
feature.
It really is.
So the second thing that I have on the agenda is, as you read, now that we don't have the, we used to take all the tree branches that we got at the collection site, we would move them every week up to our lagoon area. We had a gentleman that had basically a wood chipper there, that when he has free time, he would, chip all the branches, and then he would just basically sell the chip. So he would chip it for free for us, but then he would get the proceeds from the chip. So just fine, it was a win-win situation there. Now that the lagoon land is not ours, we have a year to get our stuff moved off of there. And we have quite a few tree branches out there right now. And then when we open the dump, we will be accumulating more. So we need a place to go with those. Before Craig went on vacation, he had touched base, I think he mentioned at the last meeting, with Jeff Zacharias to see if they would maybe allow, because they've got material out there that they pile in, would it be an eyesore in town? We probably wouldn't get complaints. We did reach out to him, see if he would allow that we pile branches up there. They would be acceptable to that. They will charge I don't know, for rent or a lease or fee, but they were thinking of charging us $1,500 a month for it. So the course of from April to November, that's another $12,000 added to this service. We could pile them up there all summer. Jeff would add to the pile too, because when he does jobs, he has some usually sitting around too. If we get over 10 semi-loads of material, mule or pallet will actually come and pick them up for free for us. So we can get rid of it for free, but it's the cost of sitting it on Zacharias' land. It's kind of nice, Zacharias' land out there, because it is gated, so there's controlled access where our guys would only be allowed to go there. It would still be, citizens would come to the dump site, dump them where they do now, and we would then, at certain times or certain days, take those branches that accumulate and take them out to Zacharias' there. We talked a little bit, and I've kind of ran it by the mayor. City doesn't have really a lot of other sites of where else would we accumulate these branches at, like I said, that isn't in the middle of town or be unsightly, or we'd get complaints from citizens at. We do not want them going out to our wastewater plant there, because that access road there is not gated there, and that we have an agreement with, when we purchase the land from the property owner there and the farmer that's there, that we'd only use that access for the wastewater plant. So if we get a whole bunch of people start coming down that road, we're going to be in violation of that. So we don't want them at the wastewater site. We do have that little piece of land, I kind of mentioned this to Arden, that's right next to Zacharias. I wasn't really sure if it has a good access road or enough area there to pile stuff there. The guys, we had a staff meeting this morning, kind of think we do, but that's not gated or controlled whatnot. We could maybe put up something like we did out at our current site, a couple poles and a cable wire where the driveway access is. You may have people try to drive around that, and since it's not controlled, they may kind of dump whatever besides tree branches, so you kind of always run into that situation, so.
So is the guy that is doing the wood chipping, is he still doing?
No, so
Okay,
that's
so that's
another
why-
caveat.
Because if he was, we could probably keep it out the lagoon land if he, right?
Well, one more year, maybe.
Our lease back says we need to take it off this year.
Right. We gotta get it out of there.
So, we could maybe get through this season, but that's the other caveat. The guy who's doing the chipping, his
He's not doing it
chipper kind of broke down, and he
Yeah,
doesn't want to
just get it
invest in fixing it, so
Right.
we don't have that anymore. So that's why we kind of reached out to Mueller Pallet, because now we'll have this big tree pile and nobody to come and chip it. Like they said, if we get over 10 loads, they pick them up free. And I think, throughout the season, we'll definitely get that, especially all that we take in. Zacharias adds to it. We're going to be taking down like 50 trees for ash borer this year. And then every year going forward, we're going to have several. So I'm not worried about not meeting that requirement, but if we throw them on Zacharias, it will be the cost of leasing that land.
Sounds like the best option because it's our only option.
Okay.
We're kind of limited.
Can we lease a certain section of land from Gateway Hartford?
But we still have to get,
Well, we do have a leaseback agreement with Gateway Hartford on the lagoon land, but it's just we did a 1 year because of the remediation
Like I said,
grant.
we may be able to get through this season.
Yeah, when the
but
remediation
we
grant
still
comes
need
through,
to
we're gonna be
figure-
in there cleaning it up, and then
It's worth.
it's marketed.
Yeah, I was just
Marketed.
wondering if we could just, move just the funds into Gateway Hartford and then somehow
Sure.
pull it back.
Yeah.
we gave them a lot of land. I think that they would be, I'm just saying, I think that,
Well, but the other thing is, then we're just, at least if we move it to Zacharias, we're moving it toward the location where it's gonna end up. We move it out there and we have nobody to chip it, then we're either burning it or hauling it again, or,
Right.
I mean,
And the trouble, and we could always haul straight to Mueller's, not pile it anywhere, but we really don't have the equipment to. We just got a small dump truck. It's not in the best shape.
no.
The guys really go, it's not gonna make a lot of trips to Mueller
Yeah, you
Pellet.
can have
It-
trees
It's not
fall,
really
branches
roadworthy.
falling
We
off,
use
it
it here in
can
town for
roll.
little projects, but it's not meant to go on the highway back and forth, so we really don't have the equipment to haul.
No,
You guys
we
wanna
use
buy
it
a new
in
dump
town.
truck?
I just wonder,
Guys would probably take that.
I just wonder if we can, I think the Zacharias is the best, but it's not budgeted, right?
No, so it is.
So I just wonder if we could finish out this year and then sign a lease for next year for that. I'm just throwing out ideas, if we can finish, but then you still have Mueller Pellet come out and take out those streets,
Or
I don't
even, finish out this year, see what cost it would be for the small amount of land that the city does have, you said by Zacharias,
Yeah,
and see what it would cost to make it
kind of
keep it
put a little gate
a
there
little
and
bit. I
prep
mean,
that
'cause,
site.
$1,500 a month, what
said,
can we
I don't
do for
think
that?
it'd take
you know,
much,
What can we
so
do for that
I think, yeah.
cost?
can we
to
get
make
far
it
enough?
a gated and.
But we need to get far enough back, because I don't want that to be the first thing people see.
Yeah, 'cause that's
when
coming
they
right
come
off the
out.
interstate.
Yep.
If it's gonna
But
be an
at least
eyesore,
we
I'm
have an
gonna,
option.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
nix to
we can look
that.
at a little more of that. Yes.
I don't know that we need to decide
We don't need
tonight.
to decide this
Yeah.
tonight because we'd still be even
But yeah.
status quo. I mean,
Mhm.
we can open the site up and still haul stuff up there. Because we got a big pile there. They've got to move it sometime. So I mean, we don't need to decide it,
Yeah.
but I'll kind of do some price checking. Mueller will come out and pick branches up, but it's $1,000 a load.
Yeah, so we would want to wait till it's,
A big pile,
A big
yeah.
pile.
So I mean, you could pile for a while there, but have to be a big pile, and I think we'd get complaints if we.
Well, when we had the drag show a few years ago, we had a big pile.
Oh, that was a big pile, and we got, yeah, so,
Because we had a huge pile down there.
yeah.
but also, to your point, we're taking out a ton of trees.
Right. we're
I
gonna
will
have-
say that I would have a little bit of an issue with putting it on that land that we own off of 38, just because it's like, okay, if it was a little bit further back, maybe, I'd have to look at that land to see.
I gotta go look at it, I kind of just
But
it
brought it up
sounds
to
like,
the
you know-
guys today, because that creek runs through there, so I'm just not really sure
I
how
know.
much good
Yeah.
flat land
But
we
$1,500 a
have
month to
and
bring
how
all of our
access
junk
it.
to is really not a bad option. Like, I don't want to spend 30 minutes talking about it, but
Right.
I think, and then that way, it's not, when people are driving by, they already see the lagoon land. Now, then, maybe it'd be a little better if they didn't see all the tree branches there, I mean, but I don't know, I would be totally in favor, of moving it out, of approving the $1,500 a month moving out to the Zacharias line. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make a motion for that, and it'll probably fail, because I think that it's just a better long-term solution geographically. We're gonna have a ton of trees cutting down with the ash borer, not just this year, but next year and the year after that.
Like I said, we're gonna have a few years.
So
of that.
I am going to make a motion that we would do the $1,500 a month for the Zacharias land to bring our tree branches out to.
I'm gonna jump behind you on that, I'll second that.
All right, do we have any more discussion?
Do we have to do that? I mean, do we have to act on that now, like?
Well, there's a motion on there, so yes,
You
and a
made a
second.
motion, so you do have to vote on the motion now.
But you can, listen, you can vote no,
Yeah.
and we can still talk about it later.
Yeah.
So,
The next
right.
meeting, yeah.
so don't feel like the vice, don't feel like you're getting gripped on
Right,
it.
right. Any other comments? If not, we'll vote. Carlson,
Yes.
Bowen,
Yes,
Horacek,
No.
Schilling.
No.
Okay.
boom, it was dead with the
Yeah.
raw checks.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. No, yeah,
Sorry.
no, good point.
I was like, well,
Really, but
I don't know
yeah.
what you're gonna do, but I'm a no. so-
I know, I was hoping you'd start over there, because if you're a no, then we don't have to, go down the line.
I just would like to see a little bit more
I'm gonna say,
options, and we can follow through
We'll go
this
check
year.
out that land a
Yeah.
little more, what kind of
Yeah.
price would it be to gate it, see if there's a good spot
Yeah,
back.
there might not
Yeah.
be.
Or, and there might not be,
Yeah.
maybe the further back you get,
You know what it is, 100%.
the rougher the land might be,
Right,
so, but we can check that out anyway, and we can talk about the next meeting, then get some
Yeah.
information for you.
All
I've
right,
even had people ask me about, like, with Zacharias, they say, what's all that stuff sitting out there? And they were commenting on the
oh, yeah.
And I mean,
visibility of that, and I thought, well, we're just adding to this now, so it's,
Well, but here's the thing, the city incorporated that land, so that used to be county land, and the wastewater treatment plant was only able to get built because they joined into our,
They
into our
annexed in.
thing.
I agree,
And
Pam.
part of that is that they keep that as an industrial, so it's never gonna change unless if one day. if
Yeah,
they
it's
get a-
zoned heavy
Yeah.
industrial, so.
But if it wasn't for them, we would have been, who knows where we would have put the wastewater treatment plant, because we had to run that pipe and all that on there. But I agree, but
I
it,
understand, yeah.
yeah.
No, good point. Was there anything else on that? No?
No, those are
Anything
kind of
else
the two
for
Pretty
exec
simple
that
meeting,
I
huh, Keith?
missed?
things.
I told you,
Yeah, anything
these are
for
the ones you gotta
executive.
watch out for.
It did, it started, you got missed up.
All right. I don't believe we got anything for exec. I'd ask for a
It's 9
motion
o'clock.
to adjourn.
Second, or is this, so moved, so moved.
Okay, we got 2 moves, 2 seconds.
Second, which is-
I think,
Michelle?
is it Sean?
Michelle.
Oh, Michelle, okay.
All in favor? Aye. Thanks, you guys.